Okay, soon, so I've cleaned the room a little bit, and we'll take a look at the hopefully six, kind of a lot, but we'll manage to maybe watch all the 6 slides that were taken from the Crucible. But before that, I want to respond to a remark. So some people say, regarding the issue of Israel versus the world, which I said that, I said several times that Israel is kind of like, something that I was like, it was an issue a topic that was burning for me because as a person, because I live in Israel and I grew up here and they are torturing me and they are devils and this place should be destroyed. But of course, as I said, that from the point of view of the species that sent me, they don't know what it is Israel. They can't find it on the map. It's too small. They don't have microscopes that are strong enough to detect this thing. From there, for them, the Earth is small enough, not to kind of make a distinction between the people, and they are completely right. So on this topic, so some people say, but you know that there are Titans in Israel, and many, and they are also abroad. I don't know actually where exactly. I know that they are of course they exist in other places, and it's not it's not terribly difficult to put your bet on the fact that there are many in the United States, and they are disgusting almost as the Israelis. You don't need to be genius to deduce that. But of course there are others in other places. So the question is, and of course I'm not saying that everyone is as ugly, as sinful as all of the all of the Titans. But you should understand that I'm not the judge of all humans, and the judgment of all humans and all Titans and whatever is ultimately done in the next world when the person is dead, when it's done by God. My objective here is to get out of this hell, me and my daughters. So even if there presumably some people are more evil than others, so okay, so in the other life, they can make their case in front of God, Almighty. But here, when they are in a war with the cherubs, and they subjugate the representative of the cherubs and submit him to horrible torture, they fight they started the war, an unjust war, a cruel war, and so the other side retaliates against them. It doesn't really matter if they are the most sinful in their country, or maybe they are just a little bit sinful. What's matter is that they are part of, that they participate in a war that they started, unjust war that they started against other civilization. So the other civilization retaliate. Just when you fight in a war, you don't. You want to win the war. You don't want. It's kind of fun to say to win the war because the other side is so much stronger than you are. Then win. Losing is not an option. The option is to win in the conditions that they want, to win in a way that will maximize their objectives, the fulfillment of their objectives. But in any case, you don't you fight the enemy soldiers. You don't ask yourself what soldier is the soldier in that tank is maybe he's at home, who's really righteous and go to church every Sunday and give money to the poor, or maybe the other guy in the other tank is kind of he steals candy from babies, so maybe you should this tank first before the other. You don't do it, right? So it's the same now. Now some people say, but you see that the Titans in Israel, manifestly, they are stronger than the ones outside of Israel, and this is not a new issue. And I've known it long ago. I was aware of this fact long ago because this fact has a lot of consequences. So yes, I'm aware of this fact, and for quite some time it's not new. So so these people, they say it. What is the meaning? The meaning you should presumably deduce that that it means that they ate much more of your stuff than the others. That's what makes them stronger. So presumably it's not right to say that Israel is like everybody else, because you see that, I mean, in the other, like, I mean, that the others, like, I mean, are dying, or, I mean, or, like, hurt, like, much more than those in Israel. And it's because, presumably, the Titans in Israel ate more of your stuff. And so, presumably, they are more, like, guilty. So I would answer, this kind of, like, deduction is, it's a false argument, and I will explain why. The reason why the Titans abroad are punished severely and more than those in Israel is because that's the way that the cherubs wanted to be. They want those out of Israel to be punished more severely, and it's not only true to the Titans, it's true to everybody. And I've said it many times ago, the main objective of the cherubs right now is not to be the correct judges of all humans. I mean, I've said it again, the one that judges humans is God, and it's done when the person is dead, and every person is judged according to his or her own circumstances. As I mean, only God knows, like, I mean, like what were the circumstances of this person, and, like, I mean, only God knows, like, I mean, whatever this person has done, like, throughout his life, and only God can be the final judge, like, in regards to this to a person, and this is done when the person is dead. The objective of the cherubs right now is not to punish the sinners and to give, like, gifts to the righteousness when there are no righteousness at all. But I mean, that's not their objective. Their objective is to set their representative and his daughters free from the Nazi prison. They have sent a representative and he's tortured in a Nazi prison, he and his daughters. So they want him out of this prison. They want the representative to stop being tortured. That's their main objective. And I don't understand why can't you understand it, because it's so simple, and why can't you empathize with that? It's so, I mean, you would have done the same. The first thing that they want to do is to stop the torture, the suffering and the cruelty that is done towards their representative. Because of two reasons. First, because he's one of them, so why should they allow it to happen? And second, because if you do it to him, you will, I mean, there is no question, like, how you will behave to other, like, cherubs, or to other, like, and like, to other sentient species that are, like, weaker than them. There is no question here. I mean, it's like, I mean, of course, while he's tortured, of course, I mean, there is nothing to speak about, like, I mean, that, it's, as I said earlier, while the representative that, I mean, is sent to speak to you about the Titan, like, I mean, about the Venusian, like, exploitation, when this guy is tortured by you, of course that you will continue the exploitation and the torture of the Titans in Venus. I mean, for certain. I mean, you don't, like, I mean, torture the guy that's, like, sent to speak to you about something if, like, I mean, everything that he said is, like, accepted, like, you accept everything that he's saying. Of course not. So their main objective is to set me free, and in order to set me free, it's stupid to, like, to hurt the Israelis, like, too much, because of two reasons. First, they will retaliate against me and my daughters, as they do anyway, but as you see every day, but it will be only more horrible. And why should, I mean, the people that send me, they don't want me dead? Of course, I might die. I don't have, like, a plot armor from God. You can kill me. You have free will. You can kill me. You might do so. You've done so in the past. It's possible. Of course, you should not do it, but I mean, there is a possibility. Like, that's part of free choice or free will. But they don't want it to happen. And if they will, press against shoot all barrels against the Israelis will immediately retaliate and they will kill me. Just right there on the street, they lynch me. And they don't want that. This is first. Second, the Israelis are known to be lizard people, and they are known so for, at least, actually for thousands of years, but even if we just limit ourselves to the last 100 years, even if we limit ourselves to the last 100 years, it's already known that they are lizard people, which means that they do not change at all. Like, they are alligators. The alligators haven't changed, have not evolved, in the last at least 100 million years. Like, alligators, from the last 100 million years, all over the period, are the same, as the ones that are now swimming in Miami or not nowhere, Florida. They did not evolve. They are creatures that, became like I mean, resistant to evolution. Like that's the alligator. They do. I mean, they evolved, but only like in the far past, like before more, like earlier than 100 million years ago. Like they've reached like a certain shape, and it's like I mean, for them, I mean, they don't need to change. Like you know, dinosaurs die, mammals arise, humans, whatever, but they stay the same. So these, I mean, Israelis are like that. They are resistant to evolution. I mean, no even environmental, like, I mean, change that, I mean, ice ages, I mean, like fire ages, I don't know what. Nothing that will change in the environment will make them change. They stay the same. You cannot, like, change them by punishment. You cannot change them by any, you cannot change them. You cannot change the Israelis. Nothing you will do will change them. And this is proven in the last 100 years. Actually, in many thousands years ago. But even just, I mean, last 100 years, I mean, it's enough. Like, I mean, to see it. Like, they cannot change. They absolutely cannot change. 100% resistant to change. The only, maybe, I mean, it's to be proven, and I mean, it seems that it's not the case. But, I mean, presumably, perhaps, I mean, you could have thought that someone will change is people outside of Israel, and they demonstrated very well that they will not change without punishment. I mean, they don't care about what I say. I speak for so long. I mean, I write, I cry, I like, I mean, you know, whatever. I mean, whatever I do, like whenever I speak, like in humoristic way, in kind of like a severe way, kind of like a sad way, in poetic way. It doesn't matter the style, the medium. I mean, it doesn't matter. You just don't listen. You don't care what I say to you for many years now. So it was demonstrated that only by force you might change. And for that reason, the people outside of Israel are being punished. And that's and the suffering of the Titans outside of Israel is part of that. Because they are part of the societies. Wherever they are. So this is part of the punishment. Because you use, I mean, they're like, I mean, your secret weapon, like, I mean, your special, it's like your tanks on your I don't know, your airplanes, or whatever metaphor you want for, like, deadly weapon. So that's why they are punished. They are punished because this, I mean, it's part of the suffering of nations outside of Israel with the thought that this might change them, and they might move arms and legs to rescue their representative from the Nazi captors. So that's why they are suffering more than the ones in Israel, because in general, in order to, I mean, to serve the objectives of the cherubs right now, it makes much more sense to punish people outside of Israel than people inside of Israel. Does it mean that Israel will, like, last forever? No, of course not. After I'm out of here, me and my daughters, Israel will not last more. I mean, the days are numbered for Israel, but not only for Israel. Other places as well. But Israel is so small that, I mean, when the asteroid hits, like, the Mediterranean, I mean, this kind of, like, I mean, dumpster will be just washed in, like, in no time. Like, I mean, it will just, I mean, one big wave, and like, and all the shit is, like, I mean, is washed. Like, I mean, so nothing will stay here because it's such a small place. And even if, I don't know, like, I mean, even like, presumably, like, I mean, some places, I don't know, in the Negev desert will, I mean, not completely be washed. It doesn't matter because there is almost no one there. Like, even like, Israel is so small, but even within, like, the small boundaries of Israel, actually the great majority of population and, like, culture centers and financial centers are all centered, like, in what we call the center, which is very small. It's like tiny. It's like a tiny place. I mean, so, I mean, that's what it's the Mediterranean. I mean, like, all the what we call the center of Israel will just be washed, like, I mean, like the shit pile that it is. But not only Israel, other places as well. So let's start another video with we'll see what we have on the slides.